Alright, hey guys, my name is Steampunk Fiend, and welcome to a little game called Brewtown. Now, before I start this game or I get into anything, I should mention that this game is about making alcoholic drinks, and I do not condone the consumption of alcohol, but I am just playing this game because I enjoy the game, and I feel like its mechanics are something that are fun to share, and that I could share with you guys. So, if you're underage, please click off this video and go find something else that may be a little more appropriate on my channel. I'm not saying anything else is really more appropriate than this, but, please don't watch this. It's not really the content that you should be watching. And yeah, without further ado, I'm gonna hop right into this. So this game obviously is about making alcohol and whatnot, but it's a very interesting one with different mechanics and stuff that I really enjoy. And it is like a farming based one, which I don't really mind, but it's also kind of a mix with a clicker game, which I also don't mind. And I feel like they combine the mechanics very well. And give you a wide range of options with what you can do, and it's just a lot of fun. So right here, I have quite a bit of drinks going on. Frankly, I only have 4 recipes going on currently at the moment, but even that's still creating a lot of stuff for me, and it's making a lot of money for me. So right now, all I'm doing is just really bottling and getting everything else that I've currently made out of the way so I can go and make some more stuff in order to meet some deliveries that I have going on. I believe I'm doing a Super Bowl right now, yeah. So I have currently just a few more batches left to go of a basic beer brew, a lager brew that I have in order to complete that delivery mission for the Super Bowl in the game. So I should mention that there are a lot of ads in this game in order to like forward your progress throughout this game, but and I typically do use them in my solo playthrough, but I will be doing it for here simply for the fact that I don't want to like waste your time with the ads or stuff like that. So if anyone really cares, my dog is bothering me a lot. So if I go silent sometimes, I'm maybe just trying to satisfy him. So get that drone, get some money from that, and get to debottling. So once I finish these bottles, what I'll be doing is I'll be completing one of the batches that I have, and probably upgrading one of my brew houses in order to get the second level of production that I can get from that. My dog just sneezed everywhere on my bed, and it's absurd. Well, that was a lot of money, actually. They give me $120,000, which is fantastic, because that allowed me probably to at least upgrade some of my house. I don't think I'm going to buy any more brew houses for right now, simply for the fact that it's quite expensive to upgrade into the second level where I need them to be in order to establish a consistent flow of delivery. Am I missing lager, really? Damn. And clearly I can upgrade to the third one so far, but I don't want to do that right now. He's going. Typically in this game, the lager is a basic brew and the one that is most requested throughout the game. So it's kind of, it's not necessarily annoying, but it is one of my lower price brews, which is a little unfortunate, but I can still handle it. I swear every single time I do one of these phone videos where I'm recording, my dog gets instantaneously excited and wants to play and enjoy me. He's like, hey, pay attention to me rather than your phone. It's really funny. Sometimes I think he thinks I'm talking to him, which is really funny in my opinion. No, boy. No. Settle down. Do you want to make some drinks, 2D? Are you that crazy? Are you that much of a professional brewer? Grief. He's a crazy little boy. Oop, drone. Missed that. Oh, he'll come back around. Football's closed right now, so that's good. There's one for here I can do right now. Nope, that's a really expensive one. I'm not doing that. Let's see if I can upgrade you. Oh, sweet. Alright, so some of the brews are getting ready. I'm actually going to wait to see if I can get that drone that flew past a few seconds ago. If not, that'd be fine. I'll just start getting ready to brew. But, bottle. But some of the mechanics that I hear throughout the game are There are 3 different drop systems you can get. One of them is a commercial news van, which will just drop ads, and it's like a random prize box that'll give you a random amount of money or a random amount of premium currency. And there's also this pink rare limo that just appeared on screen right now, which I just tapped, which will also give you the premium coins, and it is exclusively premium coins, but it's a very low amount of the premium coins. There's also the drone that pops around occasionally. That's exclusively money and typically gives you about anywhere from, I want to say, $500 to $3,000 in one drop. It's not the most effective thing. I personally rely on the news ad type thing that comes around every few minutes, and I just use that in order to really increase my money. Now I have 4 different brews going on right now. One of them is obviously the basic lager, which is a dragon blood one I have here. And I just put it in a can because I like to diversify my lineup with whatever I have. And my second one is personally my favorite one. Actually, yeah, it is my first favorite one. It's the one that I have the most, but unfortunately it doesn't have any votes. It is called Valkyrie Birth, and it is a Pilsner brew. And frankly, I just like the idea because it was the first one I designed. It was like one I really put a lot of my effort into and really a lot of thought into just to get perfect. Unfortunately, it doesn't have any votes. One of my other ones has better voting votes on it than this one. So this one is my third one. It is called Hades Elixir, and it is a Hell's Brew. I kind of base that on, I kind of base the name off the Hell's Brew title of it, and I just decided to go with that. And my final brew is called a Saison brew. I'm not exactly sure if I'm pronouncing that right, but I believe it's like some sort of Japanese, or not Japanese, but it's like some sort of foreign name. It feels like it feels very foreign to me. I don't think I've ever heard of that. I have heard of a lager and Pilsner, and I think I have heard of Hell's, but Saison is definitely a new one for me, so I feel like it's a foreign type brew. Unfortunately, it is also not one of the better ones as performing, but it is one of the fastest one that does in order to get brewed. Good God, my brain just like spaced out on me that way. And all of them have different designs. I try to base them on what I think their their brew is like. I typically try to Google what they are in order to try and grasp an understanding for what they taste like, and like then base it off of that. So if I go to my brew lab up here, I can kind of like discuss what I was thinking of with each one. Dragon Blood was just like kind of like crazy one. I was just like, it was my follow up to Valkyrie Birth because that was the first design I did. And I was just like, hey, I just want to do it like this. It's not one of my more creative ones. Definitely Valkyrie Birth and Hades Elixir is much more creative in my opinion, and I prefer them a little more. Valkyrie Birth was definitely my first one. It's my child. It's one of my favorite ones. I consistently like it, at least design-wise. But unfortunately, it doesn't seem to have the performance that I wish it had. Hades Elixir is definitely one of the better ones. It does have actually votes on it, because there's a voting mechanic I'll get to around in a little bit later. It's one of my lower ones, actually. I think it's my second lowest selling brew, but it's a pretty good one, and I still value it pretty high. Sorry if the microphone picks up my my drinks, but I am drinking water because I'm getting really thirsty, as it's really hot where I live right now. And my final one is obviously Saison. I was thinking, kind of want to make this brew a little dangerous. I personally really like to go with like the dangerous idea with all my brews. I just feel like that's the way it works. And so this one I called it Saison 911. It's definitely not my proudest one. I did put a little bit of effort into it, but I feel like I could have done a lot more with it. Really, I was just like struggling to get something with it. But for when I Googled it online, it was like one of the spicier brews, it seemed. So I figured, hey, let's do something that implies like you're going to get a kick out of it. You're going to have to like go to a doctor in order to see what's going on with like the kick it's going to provide you. So yeah, that's what I based someone off of. And they all do fairly well, but I prefer some of the other ones over different ones. And one of the primary mechanics of the game is obviously clearly brewing your stuff, but one of them is like delivering stuff. And you often get upgrade your establishment, your HQ or whatever, in order to actually should come back later on that one. I will. Let's do that right now. don't want you either. Crap. Alright, let's get this one. Cool. And that allows you to basically send off your brews to different places and get them sold for instant cash. Typically, the way you're going to make money is by putting stock into the bar you're actually working with. Like this one's called a dive bar. It's originally a budget bar, but basically you want to put all your any remaining brews you have, like any like inventory. That's the word I was looking for. Any inventory you have left in there, that you want to like sell over time. Damn it, that's not what I want to do. Oops, sorry about that. But I typically don't do that. I typically try to do like fire sales from the warehouse, which is another thing you can do. Like, say for example, get a drone. You can go down to your warehouse. I currently have just I think a shack. But there's an option where if you have a lot of inventory that you want to get rid of, in order to make some space for some other brews you're making, or you have like a really big order you're trying to fill and you don't have enough room, you have the opportunity to either put it into the bar, get it quickly out with another delivery. Typically you can if you have like a really big one, because that one typically takes priority or some of the other ones, or do the fire sale, which is a really good idea because it gives you a discounted price, but it gives you instantaneous money and instantaneous liquidation of all the brews that you have, which is a really nice option I think it has. Come on, get that big one. Awesome. So currently, looks like I need to do some more lager and more Hell's brews. So I'll go ahead and do that and put it. Really, I'll just put each one on and make sure I have enough of each one. Now, if you notice, whenever I click Start Brewing, there's a little symbol of a kind of like clover item, but that's basically hops. If any of you don't know how brewing works, you typically take a plant called hops or some other vegetation and let it ferment in order to really extrapolate the alcoholic effects from fermentation with that specific vegetation. It's really an interesting concept. I really like how they applied into this one, using kind of like a resource. Albeit you can really fill up on the resource fast, so it's kind of like an unnecessary mechanic in my opinion, but still one that I feel is very important to the mechanics of the game. Now I should mention that as you're going throughout the game, you probably want to upgrade, because when you start out, things are really, really slow, and it's really hard to kind of like get all like the brews going and whatnot. And as you kind of what is the word? Crap, I can't remember the word actually all of a sudden. Prestige, there you go, that's the word I was looking for. With your different levels. I'll get to that in a second, but once you prestige, you actually drop all your common upgrades, and all your houses are reverted back to the common ones. You automatically start out with one, but you do get the increased benefits of prestiging another level. So that is there. But you continuously have to spend more money in the upgrades in order to re-establish that place you had with how much money you're making. So I typically try to go into here and dump a lot of my coins into the premium section, because that really helps. They're permanent and they do not get reset every prestige you have. But that one does take a lot, because the golden caps, which is a special currency, typically take a lot to save up and earn. So I typically come to these common ones and just look for things I want. I typically go for bottle profits, warehouse space, brewing times, and taps for the most efficient thing experience I can get. But I typically don't visit that very much, because I feel like I'm already at a place where I am still very capable in order to make everything that I need to happen. I'll get these brews in a second, but I think I just saw a drone. Did I just see a drone? No, I didn't, I guess. Never mind. So you fill that delivery. One thing I should mention is that whenever you come down to like this little football area, that's a very good indication of whether or not you're going to get a big delivery soon. Because once you see the players start coming onto that field, or like the people sitting in the stands and whatnot, it's a pretty good indication that a Super Bowl event is going to start soon. And those are really like the season. I mean, not really like a season, but like they're an indication that I don't know. I don't really know how to put it, but like it's a good indication of like I really don't know how to put it, but it's just really a big event, and one of the bigger deliveries that you have to fulfill every single year. So if you guys don't know, in America, where we celebrate football a lot, there, and clearly most of you are my audience is in America, so this is just really being stupid. But since the Super Bowl here happens here in America, we tend to use a lot of beer during that time, and so it really is a prime example, or at least a very good mechanic to implement the Super Bowl, as it is a very big time for when we consume alcohol. Another big time I think is like during summer, so kind of wish they would have like a little more diversified events rather than just like sending out deliveries and having the Super Bowl as like some sort of random event. I really don't like that. I wish they can put some more stuff into that. That is one thing that I feel is a downside, but other than that, I'm really pleased with how they do that Super Bowl event. I feel like it's very accurate. So I think I'll get these brews, I'll describe a few more mechanics, and then I'll describe the leveling and prestiging, and then I'll end the video there. So for right now, let's fill some orders and get these brews bottled and go about our day. I do mention that I should mention that some of the sounds in this game are kind of annoying. Like the bottling sound is just absolutely annoying. So sometimes I just turn down my sounds. I don't have to hear it. But for the sake of the video, I'm gonna keep the sound on. If you guys want to like just mute the volume whenever I'm bottling, I don't really mind. But I can understand if it gets annoying if you actually do decide to pick up this game. With that being said, this game is free on the Play Store. I'm not sure whether or not it's on the App Store for Apple, but I do know it is on the Android's Play Store. I feel it is a really fun game you can invest some time into. I know it's not for everybody, and I really don't recommend it to the younger audience because this is kind of a game that does focus a lot on the alcohol part, as it is the core mechanic of the game. So I would say it's not for like everyone, but it is a pretty good game. If you like the clicker genre of games and you like the management of all that stuff. Come on, click. There we go. Alright, so one of the last few things I'm going to talk about is this brew lab that I came to earlier in order to describe all these different brews I have. So clearly there's a ton of different brews you can do. I did not know why I just moved that over there. That was kind of weird. But there's a lot of different brews you can do. So you're not exactly limited to the 4 that I just show. You definitely can go and invest in whichever ones you want. I really have the ability to practically go and get every single one, if probably not all of them. I probably don't want all of them. I know it's a lot of work in order to do that because then you have to do the designs and try and manage all of them, and then it's just a nightmare. So I'm specifically sticking to these core 4. I might expand later on, but it's not really in my cards to go get all of them. But regardless, that being said, you can improve your brews from here. It is one of the better ideas. It allows you to take specific qualities. I don't think I want to do one right now. I don't know. Let's see if anyone I have is particularly weak in the market right now. Let's see. So, might do this Siasom one because it is one of my underperforming ones. I might upgrade it. But as you can see, you have research points, and you put that into what you want to put into the flavor of the alcohol or the brew or whatever. So since this is kind of a spicy brew, I think I want to kind of go sour, grassy, and I feel like elderflower has a good ring to it, but I'm not exactly sure what that is, frankly. So I think I'm just going to stick with that. And actually, no, let's go mint because that does have a kick to it, in my opinion. So then you have this like little mini game where you just try to land it perfectly. I'm not sure if you get anything from it. I think the mechanic of getting caps from it's kind of broken. Not exactly sure though. I'm not sure where the caps go. So you're just trying to land in the green area for a better research output. but that allows you to improve your brews and get more money out of them once you start selling them. And talked about warehouse, talked about HQ. One thing about HQ that does happen is that you hear in like the part where it talks about how many bottles you sold, there is a point where you can upgrade your HQ, but that will take you selling thousands of bottles. It's not really hard. It just takes a while. But I feel like the game and like its mechanics are fun enough in order that you can do that and put some time into it and keep progressing. Haven't actually upgraded that HQ ever. Yeah, I still have yet to upgrade it yet. So if you guys want to see it in a future video, I'm interested to see what happens and whether or not it's reset whenever I put the new prestige up, or if it like stays the same. But yeah. Trying to think if there's anything I missed. Talked about the brew. I mean, the bottling station. It's kind of self-explanatory. The only thing I really didn't talk about is a farm, but it's kind of self-explanatory. There is a mechanic in here that allows you to buy the... Alright, sorry about that, guys. A little mishap happened where my storage got full, and I did not realize it. So I am back. I was just barely talking about the hops mechanic in Brewtown with the farm and whatnot. I was mentioning that you can buy the hops and get infinite hops, but there was one little mechanic in here that I do want to talk about called Hop or Not. It's a free way to get hops that allows you to judge the labels slash beers of other players who have basically created their own designs on it, which is a really good mechanic in my opinion. I feel like it allows for a connection to the outside audience, but it can get a little sketchy sometimes. Some of the labels are kind of weird. I have seen some crazy ones as I browse that, but it's a good time and can really be fun. The final thing I want to talk about before I end this video for real this time, hopefully without any more storage issues, is the prestiging system. So if I go down here to the little kind of hop symbol, I'm going to move my thing there. As you can see, I'm approaching the next level of crypto hops. You can progress throughout all these different ones. You start off as with value hops, and progress. I've already gotten value hops, and I'm on insta hops, which is kind of just a crazy different way of leveling. This is obviously the basic one. You start off with that. This one's just kind of an upgraded version of that. This one's kind of based on social media, which I think is kind of funny. This one's kind of Bitcoiny. This one's just straight up gold. This one, it literally talks about being based on habanero peppers, which I find is hilarious. I think this one's like, yeah, this one's based on the Large Hadron Collider, which is basically combining, well, not really combining, but forcing photons together, which is basically light particles, to create a supercharged particle. And it's really funny. That may be incorrect, so don't quote me on that. But this one's plutonium hops, which is basically creating an irradiated hop, which is not exactly good for brews, but it is kind of funny. This one is also, I think, based on that. I don't really get that one. It's kind of a strange one. This one's, I guess, based on the ocean. Kind of weird. This one's clearly demonic, which I find hilarious. This one's an 80s hops, which is kind of funny because I love the 80s, and I feel like I can't wait to get to that one. This one's nanobots, nanomachine, son. If anyone gets that reference, good on you. This next one is Lovecraftian hops, which I think is the final one, if I'm correct. Yeah, it is. And it's just basically based on the Cthulhu, which I find is funny. So as you progress, those are basically the prestige levels. I'm clearly only the third one. It does take a while in order to progress through each one, but it does give you a lot of time to get a feel for like the new level and what you're going to get in the next one, and continue with that. So overall, this is a really great experience. Brewtown's a lot of fun. It is free, I think, on both. I really haven't checked. I probably should go check. I have the means to, at least, but I'm kind of too lazy to do that. I just want to make a video about it. So yeah, it's a fun game. I highly recommend it. Go check it out. In my opinion, it's worth your time. But again, if you're underage, please consider. I shouldn't say consider. Just don't play this game if you're underage. It's definitely not geared towards you. It is gauged to a more mature audience. And although it is a clicker game, it is still kind of advocating the consumption of alcohol. So please, if you're underage, don't play this game. I really don't want to be responsible for anyone getting addicted to alcohol. That's really not something good. Please, and even if you are mature, please drink responsibly. Just don't be stupid with it. If you're old enough to make those decisions, I'm not going to hold you back. Just be smart about it. And that was kind of my 2 cents little parenting bit. So yeah, I think I'm gonna end the video here. I might do 2 more deliveries if I can. Let's see. Yeah, I probably can. One thing I should mention is that as you get farther throughout these levels, you typically don't have to put in as much to the deliveries as you do in earlier levels, which I think is kind of weird. I feel like I had to put in like hundreds of bottles per category for like the first few, but now it just seems like it's like few, like maybe 10 or 20. It's kind of crazy, but I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But yeah, guys, if you guys enjoyed this video, please do show your support by leaving a like and a comment. Tell me what you think about this game, if you're really of the age to watch it or even play it for that matter. Tell me if you want to see more of these types of games, like just like basic free, anyone can really play type games. Although this one, even though really people can't play all of them if they're like underage. But yeah. Can't think of what else to say about the game. Yeah, for now, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Hope to see all you future citizens tomorrow in the next video. I need to go drink some water because I'm getting really dehydrated by doing this. And yeah, see you all in the next video, guys.